gentleman from Virginia is recognized for 1 minute.
I thank the Speaker, and I thank the gentleman from Georgia for his leadership. And Mr. Speaker, I rise today to support the Fairness for American Families Act. And you know, Mr. Speaker, it's interesting here on the floor to hear the leadership of the minority continue their cries of objection based on claims of politics and process. Now, we're talking about substance here. And instead, what we hear are objections about our position, somehow insinuating that we don't care about people's health care. Well, Mr. Speaker, I would say it is exactly the opposite. We're talking about substance. And we're talking about ways that we can improve the prospects for quality health care for Americans. And for several years, Republicans have been warning the American people about the devastating impact Obamacare will have on both jobs and health care. And it now appears that Democrats and even the President himself are beginning to agree. The decision by the administration earlier this month to delay the employer mandate to 2015 is a clear signal that even the administration doesn't believe the country is ready to sustain the painful impact this law will have. Fortunately, others, including some of the law's most ardent supporters, are starting to realize the same. Just this week, Democratic leaders of the House sent a letter from the presidents of 3 major unions warning that if changes were not made to the Affordable Care Act, it would destroy the foundation of the 40-hour work week that is the backbone of the American middle class. Now, Mr. Speaker, to me, that's real. That's not just games, that's real. Now, continuing, these union leaders claim that if the Affordable Care Act was enacted without being modified, it would destroy, destroy the very health and well-being of our members, along with millions of other hardworking Americans, unquote. These consequences resulting from employees having their hours cut and their health benefits jeopardized represent what these leaders described as, quote, nightmare scenarios. And Mr. Speaker, I'd submit again, that's real, that's not just games. It is now explicitly clear to people across political lines that promises were made and now broken, and Obamacare is not working. Now, this is the direction we need to take. This is the common ground. If we have bipartisan agreement that things just aren't working under Obamacare, let's work to improve the situation for Americans. Why is it that working Americans have to suffer the financial burdens of an overreaching government-run health care system while the same consequences for big business are delayed a year? The White House won't offer an answer to that because I believe they've run out of excuses, they've run out of ideas, and now they're starting to backpedal. The Fairness for American Families Act will extend the delay of these mandates to all Americans because no family's health, well-being, or employment should suffer while businesses get a break. And I sincerely hope that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle will join us in this effort to bring basic fairness to everyone. And I'd like to thank the gentleman from Georgia, the gentleman and all the gentlemen from Congressman Todd Young from Indiana for his hard work on this issue, and I urge my colleagues in the House to support this legislation, and I yield back.